Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. From this particular video, we'll be starting to solve the problems on income from house property. The question is on the screen. Calculate gross annual value. So in this question, they have asked us to calculate only till the gross annual value. Question ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಕೇಳಿರ್ತಾರೋ ಅದಷ್ಟನ್ನೇ ನಾವು calculate ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. Calculate the gross annual value of Mr. X, who is a resident. So he is a resident from the particulars given below. So they have given certain details. FRV, fair rental value, it is 90,000 per annum. Always we have to take per annum only. ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಒಂದು ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. It is per annum. Next, MRV means it is municipal rental value. MRV they have given, it is 85,000 per annum. Per annum anta kottidare. Annual rent for an year. Annual and it's understood that it is for 1 year. It is 75,000 per annum. Standard rent, it is 55,000 per annum. So based on the information available, we have to prepare, okay, a table in which we are supposed to calculate the gross annual value for the assessment year 23-24. Gross annual value ಎಷ್ಟು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿಯಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. Always in income tax, whichever the problems you solve, you have to always write the name of the assessee, previous year and assessment year. That is compulsory. So if you draw a table with 3 columns, heading you have to write computation of gross annual value. So if they have asked the taxable income, then you have to write computation of taxable income. But in this question, they have only asked about the gross annual value. So we will write it as computation of gross annual value. So 3 columns, particulars, amount rupees. So first, always you have to write municipal rental value. First, ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ municipal rental value na ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. In question, they have given that MRV is 85,000. Municipal rental value, it is 85,000. So municipal rental value is 85,000. Next, or ಅಥವಾ municipal value we have to compare with the fair rental value, FRV. We have to compare with fair rental value. Municipal rental value na ನಾವು fair rental value ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. Fair rental value they have given in the question, it is 90,000. It is 90,000. After we compare ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ whichever is higher, ಯಾವುದು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತೋ that we will consider as notional rent. So whichever is higher, we will consider it as notional rent. ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಯಾವ್ದಿರುತ್ತೋ ಅದನ್ನ notional rent ಅಂತ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. So out of 85,000 and 90,000, 90,000 is higher. So 90,000 is the notional rent. 90,000 ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ 90,000 ಇಲ್ಲಿ notional rent ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Now the same notional rent should be compared with standard rental value. ಸೊ ಈಗ ನೋಷನಲ್ ರೆಂಟ್ ನ ನಾವು ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ರೆಂಟಲ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಒಂದಿಗೆ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ದ ಸೇಮ್ ನೋಷನಲ್ ರೆಂಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಕಂಪೇರ್ಡ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ರೆಂಟಲ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ. ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಬೋತ್ whichever is lesser should be considered. So notional rent we have found out it is 90,000. Notional rent na ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿದಿದ್ದೀವಿ 90,000 rupees. So let us check for standard rental value in the question. So standard rent they have given 55,000 per annum. So standard rent is 55,000 per annum. So out of these two, whichever is lesser, ಯಾವುದು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರುತ್ತೋ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. whichever is lesser. Whichever is lesser will be considered as reasonable expected rent. ನೋಷನಲ್ ರೆಂಟ್ ಅಥವಾ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ರೆಂಟಲ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರುತ್ತೋ ಅದನ್ನ ರೀಸನಬಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ರೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ 90,000 and 55,000 ಅಲ್ಲಿ 55,000 ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ 55,000 ನಾವು ರೀಸನಬಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ರೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Now consider this reasonable expected rent. That reasonable expected rent should be compared with actual rent. ಈ ರೀಸನಬಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ರೆಂಟ್ ನಾವು ಆಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ ರೆಂಟ್ ಒಂದಿಗೆ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. In order to find out the actual rent, there is a formula. The formula is annual rent minus unrealized rent. Annual rent ಮತ್ತೆ unrealized rent ನ annual rent ಇಂದ ಸಬ್ಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಬರುವಂತಹ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು actual rent ಅಂತ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. So in the question they have given annual rent. Annual rent is 75,000. So I will take annual rent as 75,000 minus unrealized rent. Question ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ. They have not given anything in the question, so we will consider it as 0. Now, reasonable expected rent, we have found out it is 55,000. Annual rent minus unrealized rent, that is 75,000 minus 0 will be actual rent. Actual rent will be 75,000. Out of these two, whichever is higher, ಈ ಎರಡರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬೆಲೆ ಇರುತ್ತೋ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. 55,000 and 75,000. 75,000 is higher, so that 75,000 will be considered as gross annual value before vacancy period loss. Vacancy period loss ಸಪ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಗ್ರಾಸ್ ಆನ್ಯುಯಲ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇದರಿಂದ ನಾವು ವೇಕೆನ್ಸಿ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಲಾಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. In question they have not given anything about vacancy period loss. If no information is given, then we have to consider it as 0. The answer whatever we get, it is gross annual value after deducting vacancy period loss. ಏನೇ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಬಂದರೂ ಕೂಡ ಅದು gross annual value. Okay, gross annual value after deducting vacancy period loss. This is how we need to solve the problem. Hope you have understood the first problem very well. In my future videos, I'll be solving some more problems on income from house property problems. Thank you for watching the video. I'll come back with the next video.